Hello and welcome to another episode of Press Preview. I am Julia Rosas and I'm joined here with editors James Beeson and Sarah Gough. So for first topic, so I've heard you've done a follow-up to Jamie Horsley, who is Head of Student Services.
Yeah, in our last issue we had a story about a girl called Sophie Harrison who's a student here, and she had quite a severe eating disorder problem and she had to leave university. She had to drop out because the support here wasn't quite sufficient for that level of mental health problems. Yeah. So this was kind of this week, leading with this story on well-being, was effectively a right of reply for them. So we had a meeting with Jamie Horsley, who's the Head of Student Services, and also Mark Sawyer, who's Head of Wellbeing. So there's people in charge basically at the top of this support system. And what they said was really interesting. They're basically saying there's a communication problem and that students have too much of an expectation or a wrong perception about what wellbeing can do, because initially it was there to sort of look after low-level anxiety and low-level depression in relation to studies. And so we've used the headline, "We're not the NHS," because this is what they've told us. And yeah, we think the story might go some way in kind of explaining what the wellbeing is there for, what the NHS is there for, and kind of the distinction between the two, so that they aren't conflated and the problem and the demand isn't exacerbated too much.
Okay, thank you. And about uni accommodation prices now.
Yeah, so the university accommodation the prices for next academic year have been released, and it looks like the vast majority of them are going up again. And this is something that the Guild are really not happy about. They released a fairly strongly worded statement saying that, I think their figures they calculated that an average earning family, a student from an average earning family would only be able to afford to live in 42 rooms on campus, 42 rooms in uni accommodation without running up personal debt. So they were really unhappy. We're not particularly happy either. There are a couple.
Holland Hall is just
obscene. The costs to rent in Holland Hall with a view are like over £7,000 for a year. You know, some of the rooms have gone up by like sort of £5 a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but obviously over the course of a rent, that's quite a lot. There are a few that have frozen and gone down, but the ones that have gone down tend to be by very sort of small quantities, kind of like sort of 8p a week or something like that, which is, you know, a bit ridiculous and doesn't really make that much difference to students over the course of the whole year, so it's a real shame. Now
the news story is about mitigation.
We've got a story in the news about the problems actually with the mitigation process.
So basically we kind of decided to look into this on the back of a student from the University of Westminster who apparently had to prove to basically get out of doing an exam. They had to provide a copy of their father's death certificate who died, which is obviously kind of a shocking case, but we looked into it at Exeter and it's actually not that much better here. There was one student who had to send a selfie from his hospital bed before going into surgery because his kidneys had failed, just to get out of a piece of coursework.
Promise I can't write my essay, my kidneys have failed.
So the main problem with that is that mitigation is handled by each individual college rather than kind of centrally managed as a whole, so there's a lot of disparity between how easy it is to get help from one college to another, which I think, you know, maybe more needs to be done to make sure it's more consistent throughout and that students are able to get the support they need in times of personal hardship.
Okay. So there was a talk here at university with Hilary Benn. Can you talk to us a bit more about this?
We've got an interview in Features this week with Hilary Benn. He's the Shadow Foreign Secretary and prominent figure in the Labour Party. Was quite outspoken about Syria backing airstrikes, which obviously went against the party line a few months ago. So he came to university talking about the EU referendum. He wanted to stay in, and we nabbed an interview with him. The back of a Land Rover Discovery, I think, was the place it was conducted. So that's in Features. We've also got a couple more in the paper as well. I've got Anne Widdicombe in Features as well. Our features editor spoke to her, and I've interviewed Paul Jepson, who's the artistic and executive director at the Northcott, about the theatre. So a few interviews in this week's paper.
Yeah, really interesting, thank you. Now into the fan category, Beat and Bass Society, blind dates.
Beats and Bay Society has been going for a decade now. I don't have much knowledge of the society myself, but
music spoke to the founding member, didn't they? and he talked a little bit about kind of his memories of setting up the society. Obviously, when he was at university 10 years ago, the music scene was kind of even more sparse than it is now. And I think, he talked a little bit about what it was like, setting up the society and really seeing it grow and flourish. And obviously, it's a fantastic achievement for it to be running for such a long period of time.
It's a big name on campus now. Everyone knows who Beats and Bass are and what they do. So
and I went on a blind date as well, which was fun. In lifestyle, I was set up on a blind date, and we went down to Artigiano's, and
really nice.
fun and a little bit awkward, but
his date was actually nice to him in the write-up, which was shocking. But
it's all in the pursuit of good journalism,
Yeah, but it's worth a read. It's a fun feature, and we were glad to get it back before we ended as editor. So that's
So all for the research.
Yeah.
Right. And sport, rugby. So Exeter's victory.
Yeah, Exeter, a fantastic achievement on Wednesday. They've gone one better than last year, EURFC, and they've beaten Durham in the Buck semi-final. So they played them last year and they lost in the same stage, and they beat them this year. I think it was 36-10 in the end, up on the rubber crumb. They had to move it initially because of the weather, and then the play was stopped for 40 minutes because a tree fell on the pitch. But they came through, and they're going to be in the final in Twickenham in a couple of weeks' time, which is absolutely fantastic achievement. We've had such a great last couple of years with all their varsity wins and stuff. I think it's a really, really great achievement for them.
Can't forget about Ultimate Frisbee as well.
Yeah, they
become regional champs.
Yeah. So a good week in sport as
Successful
well.
round.
Success for Exeter, which is great. So thank you very much. So these were probably like your last issues, isn't it?
Yeah.
As editors?
We've been editors of the paper for a year now, and it's time to hand over, to pass the baton. And we've elected a new team, and we've done 15 issues as editors. So it's been really good.
Year.
And we're not at each other's throats, which is somewhat surprising.
Sort of like
an achievement.
Yeah.
But no, it's been great.
Any highlights? Funny memories?
I think just the camaraderie. We've had a really good senior team this year, and I'm sure they've got a fantastic senior team for next year. We're really excited to see what they can do with the paper as well. So
I think one of our favourite issues was we did a mental health themed issue. And I think that was our personal favourite, wasn't it?
And lots of themed content throughout, and something that we think is really important. So it's nice to be able to do that as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. So you can pick up an Exeposé paper anywhere on campus really, or look at the content online if you want to. So I am Julia Rosas. I've been here with Sarah Gough and James Beeson, and this was Press Preview. Thank you.